Hi everyone, welcome to another Yoga Club online class. My name is Hannah, and today's flow is going to be a little bit different from what I usually teach. It's going to be a yin-style flow, so we'll spend a little bit longer in each pose. It's going to be a little bit more relaxing, a little bit more stretchy. And so for that, I ask that you have one prop today. A yoga block is the best choice, but if you don't have a yoga block, which I don't with me, you can just grab like a comfortable small pillow. This will work just fine for that. So you can grab one of those, a yoga block or a pillow, and then just put it to the side. We'll grab onto it later. And let's go ahead and get started. So we're gonna get started today lying on our back. So you can stretch your legs out nice and long. Maybe your arms come down by your sides, or you bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly for some grounding. Just close your eyes. Start to settle in and settle down here. Taking some nice deep breaths. Notice what you feel and where you feel it. Maybe if you're outside like me, you can feel the sun on your skin. Maybe you can hear some birds chirping, feel a nice soft breeze. Or maybe you're inside and you notice the feeling of the floor beneath you, the textures of the clothes on your skin. Maybe from here it might feel good to bend your knees and bring the soles of your feet into touch, taking your knees out nice and wide. Butterflying your legs for Supta Baddha Konasana. And we'll really start to connect to the breath here. If you have your hand on your belly, maybe you feel how it rises and falls with each breath. And we'll start to cultivate a nice 3-part breath here. Inhaling to fill the lungs, then the belly, then the back body. Pausing at the top and exhaling from the back body, from the belly, from the lungs. Really connect with the breath here. It will be our focal point of our practice today. From here, let's bend the knees up towards the sky, bringing the soles of the feet onto the mat, and release your arms out long if they're on your belly. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. We'll pull the knees into the chest here. Take a couple gentle rocks side to side. And then we'll come into our happy baby pose. So grabbing onto the insides or outsides of the feet, and then flexing them up towards the ceiling, pulling the knees in towards the armpits. Now you can stay nice and still here, or you can again bring in a nice gentle rock side to side. So as we sort of get into this practice, I'll explain a little bit what the goals of a yin practice are. So in a yin practice, we'll stay in a pose for a couple of minutes instead of just a couple of breaths. And we'll use that time to push the stretch past the muscle into the soft tissue. So when we're in a yin yoga pose, we work to relax the muscles, allowing the stretch to go deeper. From here, we'll pull the knees back into the chest, taking a couple rocks forward and backward. We'll rock our way up to seated. Again, we're going to bring the soles of our feet to touch, knees out nice and wide, butterflying the legs. From here, we'll inhale, grow nice and tall. Exhale, go ahead and fold over your feet here. You can let your spine curve. You can keep your thumbs on the soles of the feet and gently move the elbows out towards the thighs. But we want to be relaxed here so we're not actively pushing. And we'll just stay and breathe, feeling our knees sinking out towards the sides. Good. From here, on your next inhale, you'll slowly rise back up. And we're just going to shift this pose a little bit. So you can walk your feet out a little bit further here. So now this diamond is a little longer. And again, we're going to inhale, grow nice and tall, and exhale, fold over the legs here. But this time we're going to bring the crown of the head down towards the soles of the feet. So maybe you need to readjust a little. And again, we just stay and we breathe. You can feel the stretch in the back body here. And throughout this practice, it can be easy to feel distracted by thoughts, worries, or concerns that just float across your mind. That's okay, just means that you're human. But when those things happen, we acknowledge them and then just let them go, because they don't serve us here on our mat today. On your next inhale, slowly rise back up. We're going to take the right leg out nice and long, bringing the left foot into the right thigh here. We're going to shift our hips so they're over the right side. We'll inhale, grow nice and tall. Exhale, just go ahead and gently fold over that leg. So you've got some options here. You can just keep sinking your face down towards your knee, or I like to open up over the side body here, so bringing the right hand to sort of the inside of this right leg, and then reaching up and over for the toes with the left hand so that my gaze can be under the left armpit. And again, just try to relax into this pose. Feeling the stretch but not pushing it. And maybe as you stay here and just relax, you can feel your body sort of unconsciously sinking a little deeper, stretching a little bit more. On the next inhale, slowly come back up. We'll pause at center here. Might feel good to sort of lengthen the spine, puff the chest towards the sky. And then switch sides, so left leg out long, right foot in. We'll grow up nice and tall. Inhale, reach up for the sky. Exhale, fold over that leg. Again, choices here. You can just fold straight down, or you can take that sort of twisted side body opener, left hand to the inside of the left foot, right arm up and over, gaze under the right armpit. And see maybe if you notice a difference between just getting into this stretch on the left side and how your left leg felt, or how your right leg felt when you had come out of it. Just a few more breaths here. On your next inhale, slowly come back up, rebuild the spine. You can take both legs out long, shake it out. So now, from here, we're gonna take both legs out nice and wide as we can. And I like to sort of shift my weight forward here, off of my seat bones. I'm gonna inhale, grow nice and tall. Exhale, fold here. So you can fold down the middle, or you can big toe lock on both sides, your choice. And we just relax into this posture here. This posture has always been a tricky one for me. I never can get quite as deep into it as I'd like to, and that's okay. This longer hold here in this yin practice can be a little bit more helpful for that than just moving quickly in and out of it in a vinyasa style class. So I'm just going to stay and breathe. Maybe noticing the areas where I specifically feel tense here. Trying to breathe some energy there. You don't have to flex your feet here. I know usually I'm big into flexing the feet, keeping the activity in the legs, but you can just let the toes relax. Let's take one more inhale. One final exhale. And then slowly come back up. We'll bring the legs in together and then just swing them back behind us. We're gonna make our way to our tabletop. So you can move through a couple cat-cows here, inhaling to drop the belly gaze up, exhaling around the spine, look inward. Just really move nice and slow here. Good. So let's just find a flat back here. We're going to come into our child's pose. So we're going to take our knees out super wide as the mat. Untuck the toes. Sink the hips towards the heels. Walk the fingertips out. Then you can relax the arms and let the forehead find the earth. So the arms are relaxed here, but the armpits are still hollowing out. So the arms are lengthened out nice and long in front of us. And maybe if this feels really comfortable for you, the stretch isn't quite there, you can wiggle your knees out even further apart. Good, take one more breath here. Then inhale, pull yourself forward to your tabletop. We'll tuck the toes. Lift the hips nice and high, find your down dog. So set it up here, fingertips nice and wide. Shoulders away from the ears, head and neck heavy. Heels sink down low as tailbone lifts high. And we're gonna stay here for a little while. Keep lengthening your spine here. 5 more nice slow breaths. Good. One more inhale. We're going to exhale. Drop the left knee down. Step that right foot up to the top of the mat here. So you can bring both hands down to the inside of that right foot. And we're gonna let that left leg be nice and long behind us. Foot is untucked and relaxed. And we're just gonna stay here for a couple breaths. And I know it's tempting to open that foot up like this, but we're gonna stay with the knee stacked over the ankle for right now. Just coming back to the breath here. And when it feels like you can't stay in this stretch any longer, try to stay for just one more breath. Taking it one breath at a time. Get another inhale. Exhale, go ahead and step that knee back. This time we're gonna step the left foot up, hands to the inside of the left foot. We're gonna take that right knee out long behind us, setting up here. Just preparing to stay and to breathe. And you can relax into this pose here. You know, some of these yin poses, we feel like when we first get in them, maybe there's not a lot happening. But as we stay, relax, melt, you start to feel the opening, the release. Few more breaths. Final inhale. Exhale, go ahead, kick it back, tabletop. So you can sort of fire hydrant your legs here to release that before we move on. So for our next pose, we're gonna do our puppy dog pose. And this might be a pose that you would like your pillow for, or your block. So we're gonna start in our tabletop, and then we're just gonna walk our hands out nice and long until our chest finds the mat here. So if your chest doesn't quite find the mat, that's where I recommend bringing in your pillow or your block and just sinking down onto that instead. So that's nice and comfortable. You can stay there for a little while. Wherever you are, the tailbone is lifted nice and high to the sky. Fingertips are out long, but the arms are relaxed. And you should feel this stretch all through the shoulders, the upper back, and the lower back just a little bit. And if you feel like a little cramped in the shoulders, you can walk the arms out towards the sides a little bit. So instead of 2 straight lines, we have like a W shape. Three more breaths here. Then we're going to slowly press into our forearms. Just roll forward onto your belly here. We're going to move into our Spanks Pose. So bring your elbows underneath your shoulders here. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Palms are parallel with one another. And then we're just going to lift the gaze here and open up the heart. So the collarbones are spreading east and west. Chest is puffed up towards the sky. We'll feel this more in the lower back here. Maybe you even take your gaze slightly up. Just remember to keep lengthening here so we're not really crunching into the lower back. We're lengthening the spine upwards. Take another inhale. Exhale, release down towards the mat. We're going to move into half of a frog pose here. So I'm going to start with the left side. So keeping the right leg out nice and long. We're going to bend the left knee so that the left knee is parallel with the left hip. And then we're going to flex that left foot so it's parallel with the thigh as well. We've got 2 right angles at the knee and at the ankle. So you've got options here. You can let the foot relax a little bit, so keep that right angle, but you don't have to flex the foot so hard. Options, you can come back into your Spanks upper body if you really liked the way that felt, or you can melt down onto the mat and make yourself a pillow with your hands. Maybe lengthen your legs out long or your arms out long. Just find a spot where you can be comfortable. As we move into the hips. Like 5 breaths left, so I'm going to come back into my Spanks upper body for these last few breaths. exhale, go ahead and kick that leg out long behind you. You can release if you've had that Spanx upper body. And we're gonna switch sides, so I'm gonna scoot over a little bit. And then we're just gonna pull the right knee up so that it's parallel with the hip, creating those right angles at the knee and at the ankle. Keeping the left leg nice and long. Choosing an upper body position, Spanx, flat down on the mat, fingertips out long, up to you. And just go ahead and melt here into your half frog on the right. Got 5 more breaths here. So I'm gonna come back up into my Spanx. If you'd like to switch your upper body variation, you can go ahead and do so. And we're gonna set up for a full frog, so we're gonna just press ourselves up a little bit here. And then we're gonna take our knees out nice and wide. I'm gonna come actually long ways on my mat. That's a little bit easier, but if you're on a nice soft surface, you can stay where you are. So we're gonna take our knees out really as wide as we can here, super wide. And then again, we're gonna bend the knees and the ankles so we've got right angles in both places. And then from here, we're just gonna walk our arms out in front of us, sinking here. I like to come on the forearms, make a little pillow for my head out of my hands, and just stay and breathe. We're gonna stay here for a little longer. And if you're not quite feeling it yet, you can take the knees out a little wider, or try shifting your weight a little bit back. See how that feels. Again, you don't have to worry about tensing any muscles here, so you don't have to really actively flex your feet. We're just gonna let gravity do the work here. So just really relax into this frog pose here. Try to stay connected with your breath. Keep your focus there. Hi, Devin. Few more breaths here. take another inhale. Exhale, we're just gonna roll forward onto our belly. You can bend the knees, windshield wiper them side to side, let that go. There's no real graceful way to get out of your frog. So we're gonna take our left arm out nice and long, and we're gonna plant the right hand underneath of our right shoulder. So we're gonna take an inhale here. Exhale, press into that right hand, slowly start to roll yourself over that left shoulder. You can let your head relax down to the mat. Maybe it would feel good to plant this foot. Maybe you would even like to reach the right arm back behind you. So we feel this stretch in the left shoulder. Just stay and breathe a few more breaths. Take one more nice deep inhale. Exhale, slowly unroll yourself back to center. Get ready to switch sides. So this time, right arm out long. Left hand comes under left shoulder. We take a nice deep inhale. And exhale, we press and roll. Again, you can take that foot back behind you. Maybe that arm as well. And you can let your head just relax into the mat here. Feeling the stretch into the right shoulder. Staying here for another moment or two, just breathing, relaxing, melting into this stretch. Again, letting the weight of your body and the force of gravity do all of the work. One more inhale. Exhale to slowly unroll. Just pause and center. Maybe you windshield wiper your feet side to side. Let both arms come out long. Then we're going to plant both hands by our shoulders. Press ourselves up to tabletop. Just to swing the feet around and come to lying on our back. But we're gonna first grab onto our pillow here. So we're gonna set up for a supported bridge here. So come to laying on your back with your soles of your feet on the mat, knees pointing straight up towards the sky, arms down by our side. We're going to grab our pillow or our block or whatever. We're going to lift our hips nice and high and then bring that prop underneath the base of your spine here. So under your sacrum, where your yoga pants sort of start. And then we're just going to relax down into it here. You've got some options. You can leave your feet where they are. You can walk them out long. Maybe you bring the soles of the feet together, knees wide. A little bit of Supta Baddha Konasana. If you feel like your pillow is a little bit too squishy, you're sinking a little bit too far, you can fold it in half and try that way to give you a little bit more lift. And you can leave your arms out long by your sides, palms facing up, or one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart to ground. Up to you. And just stay and relax here. You can close the eyes. Let the breath just flow gently here in this supported bridge. This is one of my favorite yin postures. It just feels so good to me. And then always whenever I come out of it, remove the prop, I feel how deep the stretch got, even though I was just laying here and relaxing. We'll stay for another moment or so. If your knees are wide, you can help them back in together, soles of your feet on the mat. From here, we're going to just slide our pillow down a little bit so it's sort of underneath of our hips here. And then we're going to take an inversion to sort of conclude our practice. So for our waterfall pose, we'll just take our feet straight up to the sky, leaving that pillow or that block underneath to support our low back. And you can just let the feet relax, let the arms come out long by the sides. This inversion sort of lets all the blood flow back down to the heart and the brain. It probably feels like a nice release. And is a great way to end our practice today. the feet down to the mat. We'll press into the feet, lift the hips up. Just slide your pillow or your block out from underneath of you. Let your lower back rest back on the earth. Just pause here for a moment. See how it feels. And then we'll pull the knees into the chest here. Take a gentle rock, side to side, forward and back. Then we'll take the arms out to a nice T shape here. Take an inhale. Exhale, drop the knees over towards the right. Take the gaze out to the left. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, switch sides. Knees left, knees right. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, pull the knees in nice and tight here. Let's take one final really deep inhale here. Pulling everything in. Another tiny sip of air. Exhale, release everything out. Find your Shavasana. Let your legs fall out long. Feet flap open. Arms are lined by the sides. Hands face up. Ready to receive. Eyes close and breath returns to its normal pattern. This is your Shavasana, your final rest, final relaxation. Shavasana provides us an opportunity to be still, to let all of the work that we have just done sink in. You can stay in your Shavasana as long as you need to. But when you feel that your practice is complete, I invite you to gently wiggle fingers and toes, reawakening here. Might feel good to stretch your arms out long overhead and point your toes for a great big good morning stretch like you just woke up. And then when you're ready, I invite you to relax and bring your hands into your heart center, keeping your eyes closed. We pause here for a moment of gratitude, to be thankful for the ability to share this time, this space, this beautiful practice with one another. We end our practice with an exchange of the greeting Namaste, which simply means that although we are physically separated, the light within me reflects, honors, loves the light that shines within each and every one of you. And in sharing this light, we are all always connected. Namaste.